Apart from a few Europeans and isolated bands of northern Khorasan speakers such as the Kung in the remote southeast, all Angolans speak Bantu languages of the Niger-Congo language family, which dominates western, central, and southern Africa. The largest ethno-linguistic group is the Ovimbundu, who speak Mbundu, and who account for about 1/4 of the population. They inhabit the B Plateau, having migrated to Bengala and Lobito and areas along the Bengala Railway to the west and east, and live in fairly large numbers in Luanda. The next largest ethnic group is the Mbundu or Kimbundu, who speak Kimbundu, and who also make up about 1/4 of the population. They dominate the capital city and the Malanje Highlands and are well represented in most coastal towns. The Congo in the far north, including the city of Luanda and parts of the countries of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of the Congo, speak Kikongo and account for about 1/8 of the population. Lunda, Chorku, and Ngangela people live scattered through the thinly populated eastern part of the country, spilling over into the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Zambia. The Ovambo, also known as Ambo, and Hera peoples in the southwest also live in Namibia, while the closely related Nyanika Nkumbi peoples inhabit only Angola.
Olá, bom dia, boa tarde ou boa noite. Tudo bem?
Beginning in the 1920s, Portuguese colonial policies sought to make Portuguese the only language spoken in Angola. These attempts met with limited success. Portuguese is often the only language spoken in Luanda, and in much of the interior extending beyond the city, and in other parts of the country. In some areas, however, indigenous languages are used in daily life. Because Portuguese developed as the lingua franca of the country, and became the language of the present political leadership, those who did not speak Portuguese were effectively excluded from the political process. Other languages spoken in Angola include English and Afrikaans, which are sometimes spoken in the south and east, especially by people who have resided in Namibia and Zambia as workers or refugees, and French, and, to a lesser extent, Lingala, which are often understood among the Congo in the north. Kikongo Wailita, a Creole based on Kikongo, is also spoken in the north. Angola has a tropical climate with a marked dry season. The climate is largely affected by the seasonal movements of the rain-bearing intertropical convergence zone, the northward flow of the cold Bengala current off the coast, and elevation. Rainfall is the key determinant of climatic differentiation, and it decreases rapidly from north to south and in proximity to the coast. The Mayom forest in the northern part of the Cabinda exclave receives the greatest amount of rainfall, about 70 inches per year, and Huambo, on the B Plateau, receives 57 inches. In contrast, Luanda, on the dry coast, receives about 13 inches, while the southernmost part of the coastal plain gets as little as 2 inches. The rainy season lasts from September to May in the north, and from December to March in the south. Droughts frequently afflict the country, especially in the south. Temperatures vary much less than rainfall, however, and generally decrease with distance from the equator, proximity to the coast, and increasing elevation. The average annual temperature in Soyo, for example, at the mouth of the Congo, is 26 degrees Celsius, whereas in Huambo, on the B Plateau, it is 19 degrees Celsius. Until the late 19th century, parts of Angola were covered with dense rainforest, mainly in the northern part of the Cabinda exclave, the western edge of the Malanje Highlands, the northwestern corner of the B Plateau, and along some rivers in the northeast. Much of this forest has been greatly diminished by agriculture and logging, and now most of Angola's surface is covered with different kinds of savanna, ranging from savanna forest mosaic in the north to thorn scrub in parts of the south. Natural or man-made fires occur frequently in savanna vegetation, and tree species are thus usually resistant to fire. True desert is confined to the Namib in the far southwest, which extends north from Namibia, and is the home of a unique plant, the tumboa, which has a deep taproot and two broad, flat leaves about 10 feet long that lie along the desert floor. Carnivores include leopards, lions, and hyenas, while the plant-eating animals are represented chiefly by elephants, hippopotamuses, giraffes, zebras, buffaloes, wildebeests, and various other antelopes, and monkeys. Angola is rich in bird species, and has a wide variety of reptiles, including crocodiles. The numerous insects include mosquitoes and tsetse flies, both serious pests that carry disease. There are about a dozen national parks and nature reserves, notably Iona National Park in the southeast corner of the country, and Cuicama National Park just south of Luanda, but checks on hunting largely broke down with the spread of civil war. The giant sable antelope, found in the south, is particularly vulnerable. Other endangered populations include the gorillas and chimpanzees of the Mayom forest, the black rhinoceros, and the Angolan giraffe. Marine life is particularly rich along the southern coast because the cold Bengala Current provides nutrients for many temperate water species. Angola's economy is overwhelmingly driven by its oil sector. Oil production and its supporting activities contribute about 50% of GDP, more than 70% of government revenue, and more than 90% of the country's exports. Angola is an OPEC member, and subject to its direction regarding oil production levels. Diamonds contribute an additional 5% to exports. Subsistence agriculture provides the main livelihood for most of the people, but half of the country's food is still imported. Increased oil production supported growth averaging more than 17% per year from 2004 to 2008. A post-war reconstruction boom and resettlement of displaced persons led to high rates of growth in construction and agriculture as well. Some of the country's infrastructure is still damaged or undeveloped from the 27-year-long civil war in 1975 to 2002. However, the government since 2005 has used billions of dollars in credit from China, Brazil, Portugal, Germany, Spain, and the EU to help rebuild Angola's public infrastructure. Landmines left from the war still mar the countryside, and as a result, the national military, international partners, and private Angolan firms all continue to remove them. The global recession that started in 2008 stalled Angola's economic growth, and many construction projects stopped because Luanda accrued billions in arrears to foreign construction companies when government revenue fell. Lower prices for oil and diamonds also resulted in GDP falling 0.7% in 2016. Angola formally abandoned its currency peg in 2009, but reinstituted it in April 2016, and maintains an overvalued exchange rate. In late 2016, Angola lost the last of its correspondent relationships with foreign banks, further exacerbating hard currency problems. Since 2013, the central bank has consistently spent down reserves to defend the kwanza, gradually allowing a 40% depreciation since late 2014. Consumer inflation declined from 325% in 2000 to less than 9% in 2014, before rising again to above 30% from 2015 to 2017. Continued low oil prices, the depreciation of the kwanza, and slower than expected growth in non-oil GDP have reduced growth prospects, although several major international oil companies remain in Angola. Corruption, especially in the extractive sectors, is a major long-term challenge that poses an additional threat to the economy. Why not check out this playlist for more insights about the African continent?